Jamie Welton is the reincarnation of Diabo Volfer, a dark magician that was sealed many years ago. When he was being sealed, he swore to get back at the 12 gods. He has been reborn into a harmonious noble family. Another day starts for him with his doting parents, Sears and Arjano, and his little sister Sarah. The family is always affectionate, but Jamie is tired of it. He is lucky to be born into this family, but he is weak right now. Now that he has been reborn, he must get back at the 12 gods. Dark magic is his weapon, and he has time on his side. He swears to get his revenge and get stronger, but his nanny calls out to him, ruining his moment. He doesn't have a choice but to act in front of them. Sears commends him for defeating his magic teachers and tells him that there's a new teacher today. The old man notices Jamie's potential. Jamie feels threatened, and the old man tries to test him. Jamie gets mad. Jamie attacks, but the old man defends and gets impressed. The old man attacks next, but Jamie doesn't even flinch. Arjano appears and neutralizes the magic. Jamie acts afraid in front of him, and Arjano becomes furious towards the old man, but the old man just laughs it off. The old man is Marquis Linmol, a known living 8th-class magician. He mentions how talented Jamie is and claims that he is a genius and needs no teacher. Jamie might become a 9th-class magician, but Arjano worries. That night, Jamie is happy to see the Marquis magic and his father in action. Marquis Linmol suddenly appears in his bedroom, and Jamie shouts. He gives Jamie a magic tom and tells him that the magic Jamie used was old. Marquis Linmol tells him that he has high hopes and teleports away. Jamie checks the tom right away, and he gets amazed by the Marquis writings, especially with mana breathing. He summons Black, his familiar, and asks it to disperse some mana. Jamie starts absorbing the mana. With this, he can get much stronger. The next morning, Arjano worries as he sees Jamie surrounded by tremendous mana. He orders them to look over him. He is disappointed in Jamie for being a magician instead of a swordsman, but he has high hopes for his son. Later that day, Jamie finishes meditating and his mana has reached 4th class. Black appears worried, but Jamie assures him that he won't be defeated this time. He casts invisibility on Black, and he will meet Arjano. Arjano discusses with a representative from the Janus religion. The representative left and Jamie recognized his symbol. Jamie curses Janus, and he can't believe Arjano permits them to settle in their territory. Jamie and Arjano meet, and the father worries about his son. Jamie claims that he wants to continue learning magic, and Arjano is impressed by the mana in his full body. But he realizes that mana can only be kept in the heart and doubts what the Marquis has done. Arjano also notices Black, and they panic. Arjano hugs him when he finds out that Jamie created Black. That night, Jamie and Black went out to investigate Zenith. Jamie finds Philip and Jance talking about human trafficking in the area. Jamie approaches them. The two attack Jamie, who instantly disappears. He appears and manages to tame them. They tell him all their planned criminal activities, and Jamie gets pissed. He casts dark magic on them to make them confess all their plans to the Count. Jamie tries to go home, but Philip and Jance suddenly fly past him wounded. He casts magic on them, and the others drag the two away. Jamie gets pissed and Han Nai, an officer like Philip, attacks Jamie with multiple magic shots. Jamie disappears, then shows up behind him and belittles his mana. Han Nai attacks with fire magic, but Jamie counterattacks with enslavement magic. He killed the rest of the criminals and then interrogated Han Nai. He heard the same thing as Philip and Jance did. He considers turning Han Nai into an undead, but he realizes that he can absorb his mana. After his meal, he used necromancy on Philip and Jance with the help of Black. He forced their souls back into their bodies. There is smoke coming out of their bodies, which will make them useless. Black panics and absorbs the smoke. Jamie renamed them Azard and Reza. The magic is done, and the two regain their consciousness. The two tremble upon seeing Jamie's frightening aura. They thought of Jamie as a demon lord, but he corrects them and says that he is a dark magician. He orders them to observe the Janus church and bring one person who knows about human trafficking. Jamie walks home while Black scolds him. Just then, a kid bumps into them. Black immediately disguises itself as Jamie's hair. The kid makes fun of his hair, and Black gets mad. Jamie threatens the kid, and he runs away. They went back home, and Jamie swore to chase out Zenith. Meanwhile, Azard and Rezo went back to their boss to look for their boss, who knows everything. After getting some hints, they went away. The next day, Jamie apologizes to Sears for worrying her when he did the full-body breathing technique. Sears announces that they are attending a ball the next day. That night, Jamie and Black go out to meet Azard and Reza. They apologize for not getting any information about the Genesis cult, but they captured someone to interrogate. Jamie uses dark magic to order him to report their organization's wrongdoings. He orders the two to leave the city and hide. Just as Jamie leaves, Reza asks what they are now, and he answers that they are normal zombies. but he cheers them up, telling them that they might become high-class zombies. That night, Arjuna mobilizes his forces to hunt down Livel, a large crime organization. The next day, only Jamie, Sears, and Sarah leave to attend the ball. They arrive at Region, and they are on their way to meet Count Simon, a noble group leader like Arjuna, and a 7th-class magician. They arrive at the Count's castle and are given accommodations. Later, they all dress up and attend the ball. People flock around Sear, and Jamie hates it. Suddenly, it is announced that the ball will start, and Count Simon appears. The Count approaches them, and the kids introduce themselves. Count Simon observes Jamie, and Jamie shows what he got. He tells Jamie to see him later. Alf, one of Count Simon's sons, plans to humiliate Jamie so his father can acknowledge him. Jamie was given free time and he went outside for a walk. Just then, someone suddenly approaches him, and he brings out his magic blade. The girl complains about being attacked and rude to a lady. Jamie asks for her identity, and she jokes around with him, but Jamie shoots out magic to the ground. She introduces herself as Ash Bala, a spirit magician. Jamie can't believe that she is one despite her age. He thinks she has potential and trains enough to make a contract with the Spirit King. Jamie introduces himself, and Ash remembers that the Balas are Welton's subordinates. Meanwhile, Arjuna purges the organization doing human trafficking, and a suspicious man watches and gets disappointed with Livel's failure. Back at the ball, Jamie is bothered that Ash is following him. He claims that she is not his servant and is different from their fathers. She exclaims that she just wants to be friends. Jamie declines and leaves her. Poor girl. Later, Alf and his followers confront Jamie. The followers started screaming at him, and he silenced them, making Alf scared. Alf claims to want to have a chat with Jamie, but he is not interested. Alf tries to reason around using their father's relationship, and Jamie realizes Alf's true purpose. Still, Jamie rejects him. Alf claims to trample on Jamie's magic and tries to start a fight. Jamie warns him that the adults won't let him be. Alf uses an artifact to make a barrier, and the three gang up on Jamie. Jamie uses dark magic to inflict pain on them. Later, the three are defeated, and Alf realizes that he underestimated Jamie. He swears to get his revenge on Jamie. Later that day, Alf and his followers look for Jamie when Lennon, Count Simon's other son, offers help to get back on Jamie. That night, Arjuna arrives at Count Simon's mansion. They went inside, and Count Simon talked about Jamie's talent. Count Simon also understands why Marquis Linmel refuses to be his teacher, because Jamie is a genius and beyond understanding. Count Simon wants to see Jamie excel as a magician. Arjuna worries, but Count Simon claims that they need a 9th-class magician to go against the unknown forces that threaten humanity. The next morning, Jamie meets Ash again. Jamie tells her to go away, but she introduces Rebecca, the eldest daughter of the Bala family. Jamie is shocked to see the spitting image of Jane, the woman he loved in the past. Just then, Alf approaches with a menacing look. The two stared at each other, making Ashy think they fell in love at first sight. Alf uses an artifact and attacks them, but Jamie easily disintegrates the 6th-class magic. Jamie casts magic with the intent to kill Apple. Alf's body freezes and screams. Arjuna arrives and stops Jamie. Jamie sees the Bale sisters fine, and he falls unconscious. Count Simon is impressed by how Jamie erased the magic. Count Simon's wife screams for his help. Sears intervenes and explains what happened. Sears flips out, and the Count's wife can't say anything. She thought Count Simon's would help her, but he apologized to the Weltons instead. Count Simo abruptly ends the game. That night, Count Simon menacingly scolded Alf. Lennon is also scolded for manipulating Alf. Count Simons claims that they don't interest him despite being his sons. They lack talent, and he knows what they are thinking. He tells them to prove that they are worthy of his bloodline. He also tells them to apologize to Jamie until he forgives them. That night, Jamie is happy that Jane reincarnated, but she doesn't have her memories. He thinks this is a prank someone made, and it might be the 12 gods. Recalling what happened to Jane, he decides to meet Rebecca again. The same night, a magician spread words about Jamie's promising talent. The next morning, Jamie went out for a walk, and he senses spirit magic. He runs towards its direction and finds an Undine summoned by Rebecca. They introduce each other, and Jamie recalls Jane being a water elementalist too. Rebecca notices his sad face. She thought Jamie was still shocked by yesterday's event, and she hugged him. The two sit down to have a friendly talk. Jamie talks about the Bale family's contracts with wind spirits, but Rebecca can't, which is why she made a contract with a water spirit instead. Jamie thinks that the Elemental King can help. Jane made a contract with the Elemental King, so it should know that she reincarnated. Jamie tells Rebecca not to worry, and instead, she thinks of herself as someone special. Jamie leaves, and Rebecca wishes to talk to him more while Jamie argues with Black. Jamie returns to the mansion, and Alf and Lennon come to apologize. Jamie notices Lennon's mana. Lennon apologizes, but Jamie is pissed off. He knows Lennon is the person behind yesterday's event. Jamie punished him and made him see an illusion. He knows he won't win, so he kneels and apologizes. The Weltons prepare to go home, and Count Simon talks to Jamie. He informs Jamie that the magic world has started paying attention to him, which Jamie already expected. Jamie asks the Count to train Lennon because he has talent, but the Count refuses. Jamie insists on Lennon's potential and notices Jamie's strong resemblance to a great magician. Jamie leaves, and the Count thinks it is a pity that they didn't get to talk more. Months later, Jamie meets up with Azard and Reza. They reported a lot of things regarding the Janus Church doing good deeds. Right after the collapse of the criminal organization, the Janus Church started doing missionary work to preach to the citizens, and soon, a lot of them became devout believers. They are now well respected, and Jamie got mad. He shouts that war and peace can't exist in the same place. The two zombies answered no, but they are still connected. Jamie claims that is the meaning of the name Janus. Jamie knows that they are up to something and orders the two to investigate. Meanwhile, Ricky, the kid from the early chapters, is taken in by the orphanage built by the Janus Church, along with his blind sister Anna. Because of the kindness shown to him, he wants to be a priest. Just then, news spread that Shino, one of the disciples, was selected to be a priest and was sent to the mountains. What is the Janus Church up to? Will Jamie be able to chase them away? If you want a second part recap of this manhwa, comment Diablo below and make sure to like this video and subscribe. Until next time.